Salamta, blessed love to each and every one. Give thanks for your presence with us. We glorify the Mawe Haile Selassie, power and might of the Holy Trinity in all good doings and saying. We give joy and happiness within our praises to the Father and the Mother of creation, coronated with the Empress in 1930, the 2nd of November. Of course, we give thanks for such joy in humility, harmony, and oneness. Prophet, priest, and king is exalted. The order of the Black Christ, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. We are extremely thankful for such a man who would have come and taught us the ancient order of the Sabbath within consciousness and Afrocentricity, well aligned with the cosmos in robe and turban fashion, and the banner of Menelik and red and gold and green rainbow covenant. We give thanks for the ancient Melchizedek man, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards with us, and of course the prophet Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who we will be speaking of tonight, right now, at this moment. Give thanks for this Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation, of which I am extremely proud to represent. Yeah, we give thanks for such a Congress and such an order would stand to land every man, diplomatically under his own vine and fig tree. Royal family, obviously, you could see I am excited, filled with the Spirit. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you, giving thanks for your presence. Welcome to another edition of the Tiger's Nest. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. What I would like to do this evening, I want to present to you what I consider a press release given by the EABIC Council of Elders. And the Council of Elders is a wing of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, a wing of elders. And of course, the ancient concept of the Council of Elders is something that we support. I myself, I'm not a member of the EABIC Council of Elders, but definitely a member of the EABIC, a strong and standing member, and again, a supporter of not only the concept of the Council of Elders, but those who would have taken the initiative to establish such a movement going forward. And this press release, which came out on the 25th day of January 2025, is in accordance with the pardon given to the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey by the now former President of the United States of America, one Joseph Biden. And it reads, in acknowledgement of the posthumous pardon given to the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey by the former President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, EABIC Council of Elders, would like to commend the President for undertaking what other former presidents refused to do: attempt to correct a wrong. This presidential pardon is taking a step in the right direction by giving verbal and written acknowledgement of the injustice imposed on an innocent man and for tarnishing his name in the halls of history. If the gesture of a posthumous pardon is to be perceived as a symbol of reparatory justice, it must come with more than tokenism for there to be true meaning. Acknowledgement without recompense is empty, likened unto a well without water. It does not quench the thirst for justice and or correct the ripple effects of the trauma endured by generational disenfranchisement. The injustice done to Marcus Garvey and his movement, the UNIA, retarded a nation's growth, as Africans were on the rise from a state of degradation inflicted upon them by the institutions of slavery and colonialization. The Council of Elders applauds the fair play effort of former President Biden in granting a pardon to Honorable Marcus Garvey, but justice must be forthcoming for the disenfranchisement. Well, it says disfranchisement, but I know it's disenfranchisement. So royal brothers and sisters of the council, just check that out quickly, and there's a quick edit there, just in case you're going to send out another copy. So it's disenfranchisement. Let me read that whole sentence again. Please pardon me for that. The Council of Elders applauds the fair play effort of former President Biden in granting a pardon to Honorable Marcus Garvey, but justice must be forthcoming for the disenfranchisement, pain, and suffering his family endured and to the nation for which he sacrificed his life. Reparations must be granted for the crimes committed against people of African descent, for whom the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Black Tiger in martyrdom, is an eternal symbol. The year 2025 began with prudency, with the pardoning of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey. The year 2025 is declared by the AU, African Union, and Diaspora as the year of reparation. The EABIC urges all people of African descent to stand in solidarity in demanding reparatory justice for the African continent and the 6th region diaspora. This is my favorite part of this press release, this sentence here. Let us interpret the cosmic sign in the pardon as a motivation to civil action. That's a sentence by itself. Frame that. And then the next sentence, a luta continua for justice. And of course, a luta continua is the struggle continues. That was actually made famous by our great warrior there in Mozambique. What's the king's name? Oh my, come on, don't tell me, honorable priest, that Samoa Michel. Yes, the great, terrible ancestor. Give thanks for these battle axe and warriors fighting for our independence and our freedom. And the letter continues, the press release really. Equal rights and justice must stand for all people in harmony, if harmony is the prize humanity seeks. God is love, let us all love. And putting away the hate, the chaos of violence will end. Heart of Love, EABIC, Council of Elders. Beautiful, and it has its information here. Address Miami, Florida, and of course EABICEC.com, so you can check that out, EABICEC.com, and even contact number and info@EABIC.org. definitely. Now, royal family, and anyone who desires more information, you can make contact to these contacts that I'm giving you. Area code 555-0161. All of this is on the press release. Now, definitely most ones would have already had a good understanding of what took place on the 19th of January it was, when Joe Biden would have pardoned Marcus Garvey for what he didn't do. Now, we did a whole program on that, and I don't want to go into the whole program again. And of course, we're thankful for those who are members of the Tiger's Nest subscription team. And this is why we've been saying for ever since, the best thing for you to do is to be a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest program, and you'll never ever miss another episode again. So instead of us going over the program we did already, I want to kind of home into one of the sentences that we have here in this press release. Now you know exactly which sentence it is, because I literally highlighted it a moment ago. I actually said it's my most favorite of the sentences here. It says, "Let us interpret the cosmic sign." Hold on. Give thanks, because this is the Council of Elders speaking here now. Do you understand the importance of the gathering of the ancient ones, and even them making a request from the younger ones, or from anyone, from the community, from the society? This is immense to me, because I would like to take the time now, my elders, and interpret the cosmic sign. No, man, this sounds to me like if we're in Africa, Rasta, and the elders come around and the drums are beating and the elders say, "Who can interpret for me?" You know them kind of way there? Who can interpret for me the signs? You know, a luta continua. In the pardon, this is what it has here, in the pardon as a motivation to civil action. Well, all of that is very deep, but I will just concentrate on the cosmic side of the pardon. If it motivates you to civil action, that'll be good, but let's deal with the sign first of all. So Mr. Joe Biden is leaving office. He's running out of the door. And he decides that, hey, listen, man, I need something to save my soul. Number one, we got to keep in mind, first of all, nobody makes no mistake when it comes to deciding what actions to take. When I say nobody, I'm talking about in that realms. These people, they don't do things on a whim. So if it's inauguration day, if it's election day, if it's caucus day, if it's nomination day, if it's whatever day, Groundhog's Day, whatever day they choose, just know they have a reason why they choose that day to perform that action that they have chosen to do. I mean, we would have done myriads of programs just highlighting how things occur at a specific time. Look at Kamala Harris and Kamala Harris. Huh? She has a twin. Oh, you didn't know. The wrestler Kamala Harris I talking about. Kamala, the Ugandan giant. When he died and when she became the nominee for the vice presidency, same time. The exact time. What a thing. If there were two Kamala Harrises in the world, it was them. And we can go on and on. Ronald Reagan. He had an astrologer. In fact, it was his wife, Nancy Reagan, that hired astrologers. I think it's after the attempts on his life in 1980 or 80 or 81 it was. So the movements of the heavens, the cosmics and all of that stuff has never been away from the Freemasonic governments, the Freemasonic institutions and corporations. That's why all of these stars are in the flag. You know, ask Benjamin Banneker, who was commissioned to organize Washington, D.C. for Washington. And he could explain to you all the different constellations and zodiac signs that this and that is aligned to at what time of the year. So this is why they gather here on that day. And this is why they're in the Rose Garden on this day. And this is why it's called the Oval Office. And we could go on and on. Nothing just happens by chance. So this is a beautiful, commission given here by the Council of Elders. Let us interpret the cosmic sign. I would put an S to that one, the cosmic signs. That day, the 19th day of January, is a celebration day. One of the more outstanding celebration days in the Ethiopian calendar. Church calendar, it's calendar. Church or church not. Everyone comes out. Believers, non-believers, Christians and Muslims to witness Timkat. Timkat is the baptism of Christ. Timkat is what is referred to as Epiphany. As I said, we would have done a whole program on this, obviously, as well. But I'm just, obviously, the elders, let's check the signs. Bam. You must keep in mind, although Timkat is the baptism of Christ, and also, as I said, what is known in the Christian world, the Epiphany of Christ, meaning that this is when the Spirit came upon him, and of course the voice came from heaven and the dove came down, and this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. That's Timkat. That is why the castle in Gondar is filled with the waters from the rivers not too far away. And everyone jumps in at the end of the ceremony because it's the baptism of Christ, Timkat. So it's a very beautiful day. Some say it's the most revered celebration in the Christian calendar in Ethiopia. That may be debatable, but it's definitely up there. Now, there is no Timkat without John the Baptist, because he is the one, all the water we speaking of, he is the one that baptized the Christ. And I always found it quite interesting how the Christ dealt with John the Baptist, because before John baptized him, he told the people around him, here comes the Messiah. This is the man I've been telling you about. And I'm not even worthy to unlatch his sandals. And when he came into the water and John was baptizing him, He told John, brother, this is our work. Me and you have a special work to do, different than those around us. So on one level, he's pairing himself with John, or pairing John with him. And the levels, everyone know, John is John the Divine. So the point is, there's no Timcat without John. And John is the one that points to the Christ. Now it's quite interesting that John in this time would be pardoned. This pardon, which is now over 100 years. Because remember, the pardon or the seeking for the, not just a pardon now. Remember, the fight was for him to be exonerated. The pardon is a few steps down. But again, I don't want to go into all of that again. We looked at the legal aspect already a few nights ago. So I don't want to touch that once more. But you, those of you who are the Tiger's Nest fans, you fully know what we're talking about. So remember, from the moment he was arrested in 1923, the fight was on. You know, those around him, his wife and family and the UNIA, from that moment started to address the government for them to know, to pardon him, to let him go, to excuse him, to exonerate him. No, he's a innocent man. And that fight would have continued up to today. So it is important to understand that. Because you see, this is the centenary of Idi Amin. Huh? How that come in here? How that come in? Ask the Council of Elders, they could tell you for sure. Although his birthday is always a mystic, most say Idi Amin was born in 1925. Some records say the 1st of January, 1925. This is Idi Amin's 100th year. The same year Marcus Garvey get the pardon. On Timcat, the day of John the Baptist, when he baptized Christ. Interesting. The next day now, when that really became news, the next day, follow me family, the next day when that really became news, they were baptizing Donald Trump. And what's interesting now, he was being inaugurated. That was Dr. Martin Luther King's day. Not necessarily his birthday, but the day they give to him in accordance to the Monday after his birthday. Dr. Martin Luther King. It was a holiday in the USA and Trump was being inaugurated on Dr. Martin Luther King's day. I'm telling you. The day after, really going into the same spirit that Marcus Garvey was pardoned. Timcat, the day of John the Baptist, the 100th anniversary of Idi Amin. I will show you how that is quite important here, because the next day is the 21st day of January. Now the 21st day of January is when Haile Selassie was given the title Defender of the Faith. And the 21st day of January in the zodiac astrological cycle is when Aquarius begins. One may say, but you say that it's not fully aligned. I know we covered that a few programs back in detail, so we're not going to go into it now. But according to contemporary knowledge, when Haile Selassie got that title, the defender of the faith, that's when Aquarius begins. That's why the Christ said that when you see the man with the pitcher of water, which is Aquarius, going into the house, you follow him. So Haile Selassie got that very prestigious title, Defender of the Faith, when astrologically in the zodiac sign, Aquarius began, the very day. Defender of the faith, That's the 21st day of January. The conference, if I'm not mistaken, started on the 16th of January, 1965, when the most ancient of churches gathered together, commissioned by Haile Selassie I in Addis Ababa, and the king opened the conference. Of course, yielding, full love and asking the brotherhood to seek for the ancient order. From that time, the Council of Ephesus, I think it was 431, the Council of Chaldean, 451, even when they separated from the Roman Church at the same Council of Chaldean over the concept of Christ, being diophysite or monophysite, and Ethiopia held firm for the monophysite concept, and separated from Rome over the concept of the divinity of Christ, not over the Sabbath day, over the concept of the divinity of Christ. So the emperor spoke of all of these ancient events in his opening, and definitely asked the brotherhood to seek for that ancient order of Melchizedek. Well, he didn't use that term, but the ancient order of our forefathers, founding fathers. These were the oldest of the churches. These are the churches that have all the black Christs up in their cathedrals. At the end of the conference, Rasta, Haile Selassie was declared Defender of the Faith. 1965. That's just before he went to Jamaica and defended the faith, by the way. The Defender of the Faith. On the 21st day of January. All of this, the time frame, because Aquarius is water. Timcat is water. The baptism of Christ is water. John the Baptist is water. So Aquarius, the defender of the faith, the man that carries the pitcher going into the house, and the Aquarius constellation is the house. And according to the history from my knowledge, he accepted the title on the 23rd day of January. And everything is quite aligned, because on the same 25th day of January now, we have Idi Amin again, because it was on the 25th of January 1971 Idi Amin took over Uganda when President Milton Obote went on a trip somewhere else. And from that time he ruled Uganda. That's Idi Amin, 1971, 25th day of January. Now everything is well aligned here, just like the 6 planets that everyone has been speaking about. Of course, many of you would have seen the planets in the western sky all aligned. When did that alignment take place? The 21st day of January, the anniversary of the Defender of the Faith. You understand? And all of this in the bubble of a little 6-7 day period, from the time of Timcat. Again, the baptism of Christ, but who baptized him? The Christ. John the Baptist. Marcus Messiah Garvey is the John the Baptist. We know that. I don't think I have to preach that one. So they say to pardon him. Idi Amin is 100 years. So we give thanks and all of that now. Still leading into, mystically, Trump's inauguration on Martin Luther King Day. And that leads straight into the Defender of the Faith anniversary from 1965 of Haile Selassie, under the sign of Aquarius, by the way, which lead back into Idi Amin once more as really defending the faith of Uganda, taking it over and starting the economic war. So that was a very strong, energetic bubble of time. I would say between the 19th and the 25th day of January. And I will say that interestingly, the Elder Council released their letter on the 25th Idi Amin day of January. It's not by mistake that they just buried Jimmy Carter, 100 years old, centenary again, aligned with Idi Amin, just before the changing of the guards. A lot of energy and frequency, and they just put Mr. Trump right in the middle of that and pretend the change in power. This ain't no Marvel comic book business. We know what's really going on here. So this is why, you know, Masonry and Illuminati and all of that stuff thrives on the movements of the cosmics, heavens, the dates, the time, colors, and where, and which latitude, which longitude. It's a heap of stuff, grid line and energy frequency and the time of the day and the time of the night. So the elders ask in their press release, or as I would have said earlier, commission us to interpret the cosmic sign in the pardon of Marcus Messiah Garvey as a motivation to civil action. Well, honestly, I hope that I would have motivated someone, because I would honestly say to the royal family, that is, in my humble way, at least one aspect of the interpretation of the cosmic sign. Because even up to the alignment of the planets on the Defender of the Faith, the heavens declare the glory. As I said in the program when we were touching this in depth, I don't know what pardon Marcus Garvey needs from Joe Biden. I mean, when I sit and think of that in depth, I say, okay, what pardon for who? Which Joe Biden? The one that fall down when you're going up the plane? And I'm not mocking anyone, I mean, anyone can fall down, But what I'm saying is that you don't be him, pardoning my, okay. But because we are diplomatic in our understanding, it is also a very serious, what you would call, step. One of our scholars referred to it as a soft victory. I'm trying to remember who it was. Or Leader Mandaka, man. He did a beautiful presentation, himself and his beautiful son, on that whole, what it means to us. And those who, again, even as the letter would have said, the document here would have said, it is a serious step still, with the understanding of reparatory justice. Again, we can look at it all sort of cosmic ways, because we know Joe Biden can't pardon no Marcus Garvey, what are you talking about? But it's not really on that level, It's on that level too, but it's on another level. As I was saying in a program, looking to complete this one and seal this up, as I was saying on a previous program, and as I was saying to some brothers too, that in the world we live in, some of the elders in this country here, because of their police records, there are a lot of things they just couldn't do. And because of, I don't know about many other places, but many of the elders here, through the government, would have You know, they would have set up a program where the elders got their police records, like, well, pardoned, I guess, exonerated. So they have a clean slate. Now, whether they use it or not, it just puts them in a position. It's justice there. Let's put it that way. It's justice. It's justice. So whether they feel they want to fly out or they just, I cool, I'm not going nowhere, I just want my name clear, it's justice. You know, because, you know, some of us, we dreaded and dread, or Marcus Garvey need no pardon from nobody. I get you. And you know, I feel you too, you know. But we got to think, you know, very realistic. And I find in many of our judgments, because we have that ignorant outlook on many things, we don't move too fast or too far. You know, we got to think properly and be a bit more diplomatic and realistic. As I said, many elders couldn't move from here to there until they got these records. Some of them spent time in jail until they got all of this stuff wiped out, and now they're free to fly. I guess they're free to, let's just say they wanted a job in their old age. They're free to get it because they don't have no prison records or no jail record, and because they were pardoned. Now, Marcus Messiah Garvey, you may say, well, he don't need that now. It's not about needing it, you know. That's why I said some elders may say, look, I'm not going to use anything. I good. I have my grandchildren taking care of me, and I good, and I don't need nothing. I just glad my name clear. That's it. You know, and maybe from, you know, from those who are literally related to Marcus Garvey, you can say, oh God, and John the Baptist all you want, you know, but you may not even have that real affection for him as maybe grandfather or father or Uncle Garvey or whatever, to see his name literally cleared from a list of stains, you know. So there are different levels to it, and that's why we need to be a little more, I would like to say, balanced in our thinking. I realize sometimes we're lacking that a lot, and that ignorance keeps us back. But anyway, I hope I would have done justice to what the elders would have commissioned us to do, to interpret the cosmic side of the pardon. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Yes, royal family, give thanks. You don't know. If you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And of course, you know, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Joy and happiness, royal family. Give thanks to the Black Christ. King Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed.